Welcome back to Comic Shop Talk on the Late Night Collectors community, everyone. I'm your host, Nico, and joining with me today, as always, is my co-host, Chris. How you doing, man?
Hey, feeling good. How about you?
Yeah, I'm feeling much better. Thanks for asking. I was saying to Chris, got to step it up this episode, make up for the lost time on last week's episode. So cheers.
Cheers. No hot tea.
hmm Yeah, no, feeling a lot better in comparison to the last week, that's for sure. But yeah, everybody, thanks for tuning in. If this is your first time checking out the show, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the thumbs up, that like button, or the notification bell to be notified of when these videos do drop weekly. They usually come out every Saturday. We've gotten pretty good on about putting it out on time on that day of the week. And yeah, hit us up in the comments to keep the conversation going. Thanks for checking the video out. This is our weekly comic book review show, and in order to talk about these books, there are spoiler warnings here for you. So make sure, guys, be forewarned. There is going to be spoilers. We are going to be showing off some of the art from the books here today, and we're going to be talking about what happened in some of these books. Some of the big spoilers we try to stay away from if we can. But yeah, once again, just be forewarned on that one. We're going to be talking about the new comics that came out for the week of December 7th, 2022. And once again, quickly wanted to mention the week between Christmas and New Year's, we will be off that 1 week, and then we'll be basically taking all the comics that we've read that week that come out and adding them to the following week of the new year when we are back. But during that week, we will be releasing a show where me and Chris are going to be highlighting some of our favorite stuff from the past year for 2022, kind of a little award show of such, where we kind of discuss some of the best highlights and lowlights of the past year, probably of comics, right? So make sure to tune in for that one. Just a little special episode there for you guys will come out that week, and it'll give us a little time to kind of recharge and come back the week after. So, all right, this compared to last week, this was a huge week, Chris.
For sure.
Yeah, got a lot of books to talk about. So yeah, how about it?
All right, let's talk comics.
Let's talk some comics here. All right, Avengers 63, first up on the docket here today. I also read this one, and unfortunately, I didn't get to my LCS in time for recording this week, guys, to get those books. So I read everything digitally this week, but yeah, I did pick up many of these issues here that we'll be talking about this week. So yeah, so this is Avengers Assemble Part 2. We're in the midst of this, I guess, weekly or bi-weekly event.
Yeah, I think it'd be kind of rolling through between this and what's that, Avengers Forever.
Yeah,
So we should be kind of moving through this event pretty quickly, I hope.
yeah. So what'd you think of this?
Yeah, but I guess it's round one. I don't know if you want to say part two, because part that Avengers Assemble really wasn't much of anything. And I thought this was pretty decent. I thought they got wiped out early. And I thought, whoa, what's going on here? You got that pictured right there, but I guess they battle on. And you just get some battles between all the people there. I guess that Ghost Rider really kind of powered up in this one too. So I thought that was pretty good. And you got some new players entering the field at the end. So I thought it was a decent issue.
Yeah, I liked it all right. As you said, the Avengers Assemble issue, which I guess as they put as part one, was much more of a setup than anything. Like, and in this issue, finally now seeing everybody kind of divided into their factions, kind of really going up against one another, and yeah, some more smash 'em up action type stuff. I was thinking throughout this issue, Chris, because I know you're famous for pointing this out, but I was really feeling it with this one. I really felt that they could have used a better artist on
Yeah.
this. Like, the top tier talent is nowhere to be seen on this. And, we're starting a crossover between Avengers books. This is supposed to be one of their big flagship titles. This is not an artist that I feel that is listen, this artist is fine, Javier Gueron. I've liked his work on other things. But to be drawing 30 some characters on a page like he is, like in these spreads, no, this is not the artist for it. I'm sorry. Like, this is
Yeah.
not up for the task. I think this is a little bit out of his range, let's say. Like, these, the double page spreads were okay. Like, the art wasn't bad, but like,
Yeah, like it was all decent action, but like if you had a top tier talent on this, it would take it like right over the like this would be a like a must have sort of comic. Like I think the story is okay,
yeah.
but it's just being held back by I don't want to say the artist, but the artist.
Yeah, no, I felt that one. I felt that way reading this, and I had my voice in your voice in my head, Chris. I'm just like, well, it's not their top tier talent on this book. I don't know what's going on here. I'm just like, a better artist could have put this over the top. Yeah, I gotta agree. I gotta agree with that. Honestly, I was, I was a little let down by the art on this, but it's all right.
Yeah, like it was okay. It wasn't like great, but it wasn't like bad. You know
No,
what I mean?
no, it wasn't bad. But yeah, by the end of this, looks like Mama's coming home. The Phoenix mother, the mother of Thor. There, it looks like she's
Yeah, I still don't get that part, but whatever.
her and Odin banged years and years and years
Yeah.
ago. So she's coming to the forefront. Looks like, and no one, once the Phoenix is involved, that's never any good, right? So we'll see what happens there. So what'd you give this?
I'll just give it a 3.5.
Damn.
You know, it's a decent story. Nothing special.
For sure. All right, next up, Batman 130. Whoa, what a cover.
This is the end of the arc.
Yeah, what an arc this was, though, man. This was great. I loved this. What'd you think?
I like this. I like the storyline, but this issue kind of had me rolling my eyes a little bit there. Batman coming out of space. Come on.
No, come on. What do you mean?
Why, you like that stuff? Oh, come on. That's a little bit too much.
Loved it. He had to figure out a way back to Earth, and sort of like the fact when he collapsed and he was all like fucked up, and he was just like, he's like, I just fell from space. Like, it's bad.
Yeah.
It's bad, man. He has to find a way to survive. It was awesome. Like, he's wearing, he's doing,
his junk on his face.
He's doing his inner monologue. He's like, I told Superman trunks are better, and he's like trying to like with the trunks. Awesome. Oh, come on. You didn't love this? Oh,
I didn't love that part. I didn't mind when he got there. Like, I'm glad that, he had to figure out, he had to try and get to the Fortress of Solitude there when he was making his calculations in space. And that's a nice scene there where he gets up after all that. I like the plan they had to try and, take down Failsafe by, reprogramming him somehow. I imagine it didn't work, or unless his plan is to make him think he's dead. I don't know, I don't understand the ending where he ends up. Because it looks like he gets vaporized, but then you just see him freaking lying in a sewer somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure how that, if that's part of his plan or Schitt's Creek. There are some nice scenes though with him and Robin, starting to kick ass.
Is that how you took the ending? Because I thought that was supposed to be like an upward shot of like him laying there, kind of like his parents.
Was he like in some sewer though?
No, I took it as like the alley shot, like his parents getting killed. That's
okay. Yeah, maybe
you took it literally. Maybe that was the case, right? But I thought that was more of just like, this is just like my parents getting killed type of thing. You know what I mean? Like,
way went above my head. Whoosh.
No, maybe you're right. I don't know. I'll take a look at it here in a moment here. But yeah, I mean, yeah. So basically, he tried to change his mannerisms, his emotions, essentially, because like physically he's like, there's nothing I can do because like his insides are as impervious as his outsides. There's no way around this. These guys gonna kill me again. Then he fucking he proceeds to beat the shit out of Tim and him, like gets his ass rocked, and then he's like, he can't beat Batman and Robin, and then he just proceeds to beat
a lot of them.
Just like, this is awesome. But then like his whole thing is like he put like a chip in him or something, to like kind of give him empathy or something for people, because that's his one weakness. He says that he can't get past feeling for people.
Yeah.
So, and then it doesn't work. Like he just continues to kill him anyways. We'll see. It looks like he destroys him, like you said, but it was a really good ending.
Oh, and I did like those eyes on Batman in this time. It just made him look like vulnerable or human almost. You know what I mean?
Well, that's why even when he hit the ground coming from space and somehow survived, and he gets up and he's like, you could see his eyes there, like out of.
Yeah, I love that. I thought the art was great. I hear this is the last issue though. That George Jimenez or whatever his name is.
Well, he's doing that 5-issue miniseries with Mark Millar.
Reloaded or Nemesis or something.
Reloaded. I think he's the artist on that.
I'm looking forward to that.
So am I, but that's a shame. This artist is so fucking good.
It was good.
A top tier talent on a
exactly
book.
Yes.
This is exactly what we were just talking. If this guy was on Avengers, then we wouldn't be saying that. Anyways, yeah, I still really thoroughly enjoyed this ending. I thought it was really good, but I'm sorry that the space stuff didn't work for you. I mean,
But other than that, I thought it was good.
See, this just reminded me of like the day his parents got shot. Maybe he actually is like in an alley.
Well, yeah, I don't know how that kind of. Did he just get vaporized or something? I don't know. Anyways, I guess we'll find out. It did leave me wanting more, and waiting for the next issue.
Yeah.
And for the end of an arc, you're like, whoa, what's going on here?
Yeah, and the backup was good too.
I like the art for this backup art suits this story. It seems
it's like an old school throwbacky kind of style. It seems like
and that whatever that Zenalur, I don't even know what the name is. I think it just suits it. I thought it's decent. Maybe it's just a really good story that's kind of following through, but I don't know. It's kind of cheesy. Oh, that's why he has the yellow now in his
right
in his whatever.
But
otherwise, that's okay.
I liked it too, though. Yeah, the artist Leonardo Romero on this one was Zdarsky again. He kind of he's drawing the characters that look like the Golden Age kind of Batman style, right? Yeah. I dug that. Yeah, no, I really dug this. I think that Zdarsky's killing it on this book. I think he's doing a great job on Batman. So, what'd you give this?
I'll give it a 4. I liked it.
I'm gonna give it a 4.25. This one, yeah, it really worked for me. Yeah, I'm loving Batman.
Yeah, and for this arc as a whole, easy 4.25, 4.5. I thought this arc was great.
Absolutely. This arc was really good. This kind of really, I'm really looking forward to what happens next in this.
Yeah. I don't know who the new artist is going to be for Batman, but he's got big shoes to fill, and he better fill them.
Yeah.
Or she, whoever.
Yeah, he's good, this guy. All right, Poison Ivy number 7.
This is a bit of a new arc here. I think this was supposed to be a 6-part series, and they just extended it. And I don't know. I think it seemed to fall a little off the scale, though. I think the art was sort of carrying this story here. I don't know if they have a new artist for this. I think it was a guest artist or something. If I look at it,
yeah,
it's okay, but it's just almost off. Like it's enough to kind of get you going. The story there, I think she's going after some freaking big business oil company, and it seems that the CEO of that oil company is, I guess, one of Woodrew's assistants, so she kind of understands the plants and all that too. So the story is pretty decent. I guess that was a twist that she's, I guess, kind of knows who Poison Ivy is and kind of has some weaknesses there. And it looks like Poison Ivy's in a bit of a tough spot at the end. Yeah, so this is one I was thinking of dropping, but I might still hold out for the rest of the series. I'll give it a 3.5.
Nice.
Yeah, it's like that was okay stuff.
Yeah, I don't mind the art. Yeah, it's not bad looking. Okay.
Whether she's a villain or a hero, there, I think that's her at the end. She's all freaking spaced out with those on shrooms or whatever. The mushroom spores seem to be the big power here.
Right. All right. Next up, Captain Marvel 44.
Captain Marvel, I guess, is they're facing off against the Brood. She's up in space with a team of some of her friends and some of the X-Men looking for Binary, and they run into a rogue Brood or a Brood crew with Rogue as a leader, and they're trying to save Rogue. And I guess the plan would be to have Rogue or the Brood Rogue Queen absorb Wolverine's power, and then they kind of heal her, and that would heal her. But the Brood are a little too wise for that, so they come up with some other sort of plan, and there you go. They blast Rogue in the jets of their spaceship, and then I think they're still looking for Binary, and they get a message from her on some planet that's full of Brood, and they just go there to attack, and they seem ready to do things. And then there's kind of a weird jump where it's like the battle's over, and they're all partying in a Shi'ar party or something, and you think, whoa, did I miss something? Yeah, there they go from that battle where Captain Marvel says, "Oh, this is going to be brutal," and then they all end up at this party, and you go, "Oh, maybe they, just the battle went as planned." But then the last page shows you, oh, things didn't go as planned, and like I say, I thought everything was under control until it isn't. That they're almost in some sort of a Matrix situation there or something. So
Yeah, it looks fucked.
we'll see where that goes, and they're all in trouble there.
Yeah,
So it wasn't too bad. I liked it. A nice little swerve at the end.
I like the Brood.
Yeah, Brood's always good. The good characters in there, get a little bit of Gambit. I don't know if I like reading him though, with his
French
French whatever
an accent or whatever it is.
there that I'm trying to read in a French accent in my head.
Hey,
But, yeah, but it was okay. Other than that, I'll give it I think it was better than an average comic. I'll give it a 3.75.
How about you give Remy LeBeau a kiss?
I give Remy LeBeau a kick in the ass. Give him a 2.5.
All right. Next up, we got Do a Powerbomb number 7.
Ooh, I got to read this online. I almost want to freaking walk away and not listen to this.
I'll be sure I won't spoil much for you here. This is the conclusion of this series. One of my favorite books of this year. I'll tell you right now. Just go back and check the stats on those. I think I almost gave my favorite book of the week to this every week. I talked about it, and it always rated pretty high. Yeah, I think he's just a great talent. Daniel Warren Johnson, the artist and writer of this series. The way it ended last issue, as I mentioned, they made their way to fight God as some sort of like, secondary type of shot in order to resurrect their mother, because the necromancer's tournament that they ended up winning by default, he wasn't able to grant their wish at this time. So then he's like, well, I got another idea. Why don't you, so he brings them up to heaven, and God's apparently a huge wrestling fan himself. And he was watching their tournament, and he's agreed to fight these guys in the ring. Right. And I don't want to say like it was anticlimactic, because I don't feel like it was. It was a really great ending and a really fit ending. But like once you reach God level status of having to fight God, there's not really much more you can not really, you can't really go up from there. Like there's not much more you can really do. You're here, you set the table, you know what I mean? You just got to see it and see what happens and follow through with this fight. So that's basically what happens. They end up fighting. And
Is God like a big wrestling mark? Maybe he just wanted to be part of the story, and he was happy to oblige the Cobra and the daughter there to their wishes. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't read this, so
right. Yeah, I mean, they end up fighting. I won't spoil who ends up winning, but he is God, so I'll put that out there. But the ending, I think, is really nice. I think not everybody gets what they want, but they do in the same sense. So I think it's kind of like a nice, fitting ending, really well done, really well told storyline, some great wrestling moves and art in this issue, like every other one. And I loved the series. I'm sad to see it go, but I think that it's better that this is kind of like,
yeah, it's better they do their issues and kind of stretch it out. Like you say, where do you go from here?
Exactly. So, I mean, that's what I mean. Like, that's why I mean, I hesitate to say it was anticlimactic. I don't feel it was. I thought it was a really good ending, but it's just like, there's not much more you can do at this point. Like, this is the issue where they fight God. So this is it. Right. So, yeah, I really enjoyed it, man. Again, this is really great. And, yeah, I can't wait till the next book that he does. He's done a few books through Image now that he's written and drawn himself. And that seems to kind of be his thing now that he likes doing. Like he's not really writing material for other people really as of yet. I know he co-wrote or wrote that dinosaur DC book, but that wasn't all that great. I think it's better that he kind of sticks to things that he knows and loves, and he actually has like a vision and a path for, as you can tell from this book. Because
did he draw that Jurassic League too?
No, he didn't draw it.
No,
he didn't.
Now that you mention it, did have that same sort of kind of colorful vibe that the Do a Powerbomb had.
Yeah, I think, I mean, like
I'm sure he influenced the artist, you know what I mean?
Yes, I would say that. Yeah, absolutely. So, but yeah, so I give this a 4.25. I thought it was a really great end. And the trade paperback is being solicited in the current previews right now for this series. So if you guys weren't able to grab the issues, or you're looking to pick up this, I'm double dipping. I'm just going to pick up the trade paperback as well, even though I bought the issues because I'm just that big of a fan. I want his stuff on my shelf. He also has really some other really good books out from Image Comics. One of them is called Murder Falcon, which is like more of like his heavy metal adventure story, which is a lot of fun too, because he also plays guitar, the artist, and he's actually really like he does stuff that he kind of is into, it seems like, outside of comics, and takes that, puts it in his stories, and I think we're all the better for it. So yeah, shout out to DWJ. He killed it on this, and great series. So
thanks.
Yeah. Kea number 3, another great series. I'm really enjoying this so far. Every issue I think is more and more fun. This is by artist Wes Craig, who's also writing and drawing this book. Yeah, basically now in this issue, they come across some farmers. They got some cows that are, they're saying that they're being eaten by some creature. And so they basically, they seek out to help these villagers and take down this creature that's killing their livestock. They dig a ditch around the cow in order to maybe catch this thing. And like the thing that the creature that it says is basically just a huge like spider-like creature. So if you're squeamish to spiders, you may not like this one. But yeah, they end up encountering it and chasing it off after not being able to successfully kill it. Yeah, as you can see, it's got multiple heads. And then they chase it all the way back to like its lair, I guess, of sorts. And the issue kind of just ends with them kind of stalking it in its lair, trying to like track it down and kill it. And then our main protagonist here, this girl Kea that we've been following, she jumps up to smash it with like her bionic arm, and it kind of, there's like a flash, and then like next thing you know, it's kind of like to be continued. So I guess we'll see what happens next issue. This is just like a really fun adventure comic with good art, and it's a nice story, good characters, and I'm enjoying it so far. And I'll give it a 3.75. Just because there's not too much that happened in this issue. Close to a 4, though, on the verge of 4. Honestly, I think all in all, the book is definitely like a 4 out of 5 in terms of quality, in terms of story and art. I think, again, if you didn't pick this up in issues initially, check out the trade of this. I think it's going to be a really fun comic to check out. All right, next up, we got Daredevil number 6. Daredevil just coming off the heels of Chris's last favorite book of the week, if I'm not mistaken.
That was a good one. I was really looking forward to this.
Yeah.
It wasn't too bad. This was more of a breather, I think. You got sort of seeing what Daredevil's plans are with all these villains that he's released, and he's trying to, analyze them with Doc. Is it Doc Sasquatch? I didn't know Doc Sasquatch or Doc Samson and Sasquatch merged, but that's another story. And it was okay, and I liked the stuff with what Elektra going after the president and Iron Man showing up there. I thought that was a great scene, and they take care of him pretty good. The only thing I wish this series was running with Punisher series sort of together. You got the Punisher series going a different direction because they're supposed to be on some collision course, and it would be nice if both of these were working at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you.
But yeah, what did you think of it?
I love this issue. I thought this issue was fantastic. I'll tell you why, though. The reason being that like it is bringing up a lot of interest. Like maybe not so much in terms of like you said, this is kind of like a breather. Not so much happen in terms of action or maybe to move the story forward, but the questions and the and the dilemma, like the morality type stuff that it's posing in this series is really excellent stuff. Like the things that it makes you like starts to like he's really struggling to get these bad guys to like turn over a new leaf here in this like new dojo of his, but he's also
but you wonder if he's good or not. It's like
also like on the verge of losing it because it's like he needs this win, it seems like, because this is a terrible fucking idea also at the same time. Like you have broken the law in order to do this, like, you know what I mean? Like, so like it's just interesting. Like, I like how they're balancing all that. There's a lot of questions, like, honestly, at play here. Like, I'm really, like, throughout the issue, I'm just like, this is really, really interesting stuff because I'm like, I don't know, like he seems on the edge and he seems like he's not all there. And he's like, I really need this to work. And he's got like, you know, and then like he's got the cop there living with them, trying to like get to know the criminals and try to see like a nice side of them and be like, you know what I mean? They, why do they call you, the dandy man or fancy, whatever they, that guy?
Yeah, Fancy Dan.
Fancy Dan, yeah. And then then they're like kind of trading, like they're becoming sparring partners. Like it's just an interesting dynamic between everything going on right now. Like and it, like this is the way he. Prior to this relaunch, I used to say that Zdarsky was doing things I'd never seen, like storylines in a Daredevil book, which I thought like I commended him on because I'm like, that's really hard to do because there's so many good Daredevil runs. And once again, I've never seen this kind of story. Like I've never seen this. Like we've seen him go to jail. We've seen him try to like do stuff for criminals, trying to get to sit them on, as a lawyer.
Yeah, but we've never seen him have this sort of power. Like he's always been working on his own to try and work things out, and things going sideways. But
we're just in an interesting spot right now. Very interesting. Like I can't wait for more. Like I'm just really excited for the direction of this book right now. Like even, like you said, even that being said, not so much happened here, but there is so much happening.
Yeah, like so much kind of psychological intrigue, let's say,
Yeah, man. I don't like, and then you got the Avengers after him. Like there's a lot. It's like,
well, that's it too. Like, because if the president or if they're all been replaced by, I guess, doppelgangers, all the leaders, and they're going out killing them. What are they going to do if the Avengers? Going to try and say, "Hey, don't worry, I know what I'm doing here."
Yeah,
but I don't know. We'll see.
And then you got the Punisher, and then you got like that religious guy, the Angel. Like there's just so much going on. Like
that's why I wish the Punisher was working at the same time as this.
Yeah.
Not like I know, like I don't mind. Like the Punisher series is kind of we'll talk about that soon enough, anyways.
Yeah. So I think it's great. I between the last couple of issues, like again, like between this and Batman, Zdarsky is killing it right now. In books, like I was really worried about Daredevil at the start of this relaunch post Devil's Reign because it was kind of took a little while for it to build back.
Yeah, I think he had a couple issues that they just had to get out of the way before he could really get into the meat of the story.
Yeah, because this is the best I think the book has been in some time, like right now, like in this moment. I'm like, this is excellent. So yeah, I really liked this. What'd you give this?
I'll give it a 3.75.
I'm gonna give it a 4.5 maybe. Honestly, yeah. I'm loving everything about it right now. I think it's just it's a perfect kind of mix. Like I almost want to give it lower, but I'm just like, there's so many things like I think that aren't even presenting themselves in this issue. Just like that, about that is embedded in the story right now that I'm
like, there's so much going on. Like when like are these guys gonna decide to fight for Daredevil, or are they just gonna block free, or like who's the one guy that's kind of looking, this is just my new prison, I've been through all this before. I don't know if it was the Absorbing Man or whoever it was. They're all kind of there's a lot of questions going on here.
He has a lot riding on this, man. Like if he fails, this is bad. This is gonna be bad.
Or even if he wins, it's bad. He's gonna have to freaking start taking out all these world leaders.
He's basically gonna become a villain if he wins. That's the thing. Or he's gonna basically be he's basically a villain right now. Someone would argue, like he's a villain right now.
And he's on a collision course with the Punisher, who's basically a villain right now too.
Right. Oh man. So speaking of the Punisher 8. What'd you think of this, man? This is crazy too. This book.
I don't know. I'm starting to get some freaking real good Punisher vibes out of this, or some hints of the old Punisher.
Yes.
I just still hate how they're freaking killing this backstory of the Punisher, where he just like this whole story used to be he was the big family man, and he just went out for the whatever. He went out to the park, and that was it, and that's what turned him. But it seems like he was an asshole all along. But anyways, at least there wasn't too much of that backstory stuff. And I do like that when they do the backstory stuff, it's sort of a different, kind of style of art. I thought that's great. And then I thought the art for this is great there when they got stuff going on. And, just seeing the Punisher powered up there, like in those scenes there where they're trying to, I guess he's doing his daily executions, which you start thinking is, that's kind of brutal. But then once he starts calling out all their crimes while he's killing them, It's like, oh fuck, these are pretty bad people though too.
He just punches someone's face off.
Yeah.
Boom! Their face like explodes. Like holy fuck.
And I like that he seems to be in control here. He's not like a puppet of that priestess. He's like telling those guys, don't worry, when he's trying to rally the troops when Ares is at the gates. He's like, don't worry, we'll take care of the priestess and I'll get you guys. I got you guys back. We're an army here. So I'm liking the direction this is going.
Yeah, me too. I'm digging it a lot right now. I think we've turned a corner in terms of the storyline and I kind of, a lot of the things that I wasn't loving, I think, about some of the earlier issues. I think I'm really liking this story where it's at right now as well. Like,
yeah,
but I mean, again, this is like my favorite 1-2 punch of comics that I'm getting lately. Like, I love Daredevil, I love Punisher. They come out usually in the same week when they come out, and every now and then, and these are comics characters I really care about. So the fact that I'm enjoying both these series right now, I'm really happy about that. Like, these are characters I really enjoy, right? And Batman came out this week, and I really enjoyed Batman. Like, this was a good week. This is a good week of characters I really, really enjoy, and books that are coming out that I'm also enjoying of theirs. So yeah, it's good to see. Yeah, it's dark, man. This is a fucking and Ares is fucking badass, man. This guy, I mean, what's this? Whatever the showdown's gonna be between these two, him powered up.
Yeah, that's gonna be something.
I'm sure
good. There's some nice violence in here, like
yeah,
and those whatever those ninjas, they're still on. Don't worry, I'll take you right to him, man. Freaking the beast is gonna get you. I'll lead you there. Pow, you've done your job. That's great stuff right there. Boom.
Yeah.
Of course you want to get to the next issue, man. They're gonna be showing. They better freaking face off. That's all I gotta say.
That's what I mean. Like, the fact that they have to. And then, like, guess what? If they go to face off and Daredevil just drops in, perfect. The fucking fatal 3-way between these three guys. I'm okay with that. Daredevil's, I don't even think he can right now because of but now he's powered up too. He wasn't powered up last time he came to see the Punisher. That's true. He was not.
But he has to fight Ares.
That was that him and Elektra getting married, I believe, when he showed up. Because
well, who knows? He might have been married already because you don't know what the timeline, where these timelines are.
Very true, but the way he fought him last time didn't look like he had the powers that he does now.
Yeah.
So who knows, right? I mean, we'll see, but yeah, good stuff. What'd you give this?
I think I have to give it a 3.75, pushing a 4. Or if I can go back and give Daredevil a 4 and give this a 4. I thought they were both good.
I'll give this a 4. Yeah, 4 out of 5 for sure. All right, Chris. Miles Morales.
Yeah, so I bought this basically just because it's a #1, had a pretty sick cover, and it turned out to be a decent comic. The artist in here, this is something I think is more of a top tier sort of talent. This is what freaking Amazing Spider-Man needs. Why didn't he come over and do some guest art? I don't know. Freaking, you can send John Romita Jr. over here. He can have a classic art style for Miles Morales, and everybody will be happy. Well, I'll be happy. At least I know Miles Morales fans would be. But like, I thought there's great flow. Like, just the art or the comic style itself is great art, great flow. The story, it's a lot of the whole I'm so overwhelmed, blah, blah, blah. But I did like there were some scenes where I think what's his name? The Scorpion's trying to rob an armored truck, and Miles Morales comes in, beats him up, and wins. And I didn't know there's some sort of superpower police force out there that was trying to stop him. And they kind of gave him the lowdown. Go, look, all the damage you caused and to private property and public property, why don't you just let him freaking take that money? That money's insured. Nobody gets hurt. Nobody loses. And that's it. Now we got to pay millions of dollars to fix all these buildings because you saved, $100,000 from an armored truck. And then, that kind of got him sweating there. And it was nice to see that, like, just the story itself where Miles Morales and his parents, they're all, like, he's not hiding his identity from his parents. So, they're helping guide him through this. And supposedly there's a reveal of something going on. I think this girl that he saves is going to turn into the next big bad. So I think I got #2 on pre-order because it has that McFarlane homage cover. So I'm getting that. But it's a lot better than I thought it was. You know, and I've never really been a big Miles Morales fan, and I'll give it a 3.75. Just great art, and it's a pretty sick cover too. You know.
Yeah, I might have to check this out because, like, putting the art together of this, I didn't know you picked this up, and I love Miles Morales. Just the last writer, the series that came after Bendis. Bendis used to be on this book, and because he created the character, and then the writers that preceded him, I didn't enjoy. Like, I tried out their stuff,
Yeah.
but the new start and a new writer, so maybe I'll check it out because.
Well, try and give it a read online, and you get to your shop.
Yeah, I mean, I love Scorpion. The fact that Scorpion was in this, I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool, and the art looks great. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I might have to check it out because I do like Miles. I'm a big Miles fan. When I got back into comics, that over 10 years ago now, Miles was what came like about at that time. Like after the death of Ultimate Peter Parker got me into the shops, and then basically preceding that, Miles came out. That's the whole reason I still have his first appearance, because like that was like,
What a time.
Well, I didn't know what.
Well, you didn't know. Who knew at the time?
I didn't even know what Ultimate Spider-Man was. Like when I came to the shop, all I heard was Peter Parker's dying, and then I came in and they're like, "Well, he is, and he's not." And like,
yeah, it's not the real Spider-Man. It's like
universe. I'm like, the Ultimate Universe. What is all this? Right? I didn't know any of that shit. Right? So like that's what piqued my interest and kind of brought that whole comics thing back for me. Really, was that. So yeah, I love it. I always have a special place in my heart for these guys because of that. Right? So yeah. All right. Next up, we got Fantastic Four #2. Which you didn't check out, did you, Chris?
No, I didn't read this one here.
I would say this is still similar in tone to the first issue, where it kind of feels like a weird sci-fi Twilight Zone-esque type episode, where in this issue they're just focusing on Reed and Sue.
Yeah.
And then I'm sure the next one's going to be Human Torch, Johnny. That's basically what I think that they've been doing with these. This one is like they're in a diner, and they're referencing some big fuck up that they did, and Sue's trying to say, like in her inner monologue, like she's trying to convince Reed that it wasn't his fault in terms of the calculations and all this other shit that he's kind of pondering over as they're sitting there. So some sort of cataclysmic type event or whatever, something happened. We've seen that big hole in the middle of New York City at the end of the first issue that kind of felt very like the Amazing Spider-Man issue. So something went down. That much is we know. And basically she's like, yeah, they were kind of just now dealing with the fallout of it. So I guess they went out and they were kind of doing their thing, and they went to get a bite to eat, and they're kind of like talking to each other. And then all of a sudden, like the waitress starts like phasing out and turns into a Doombot. And then from there, they find out that this whole town that they're staying in are all Doombots. And they're like these old versions of Doombots that turns out from them investigating and talking to the people that live there. And he comes across some old lady, I guess, that apparently helped out Doom when he was younger in this town, but now she's dead. So like the Doombot basically is just resumed like her life. She's basically just now like, he's just like a sit-in for her essentially, and as well as the other people in this town. And like for whatever reason, he made this whole thing that exists. I think there was a time when this woman was still alive that he was trying to make the town basically still exist in the way that she remembered it for her at that time, by making them all Doombots, because this is the first Doombots they've ever come across. They find out like in their like time knowing Doom that their second objective is to kill the Fantastic Four, not their first one. And the first one is actually to try to keep up this charade of a town for this woman and protect this woman at all costs. But now it seems like this old woman is also passed, and that she's also a Doombot. So everybody's Doombots. That's basically what you find in this issue. So again, it was fine. Like it was kind of interesting to see it all unfold. I thought the art was fine. The writing is fine. It's just, again, if you're looking to see the Fantastic Four together, adventuring, doing their science adventure thing, you haven't found that within these first two issues of this series. So I don't, like I said, it's a ballsy move. Like it's not badly done at all, and it is something different from Fantastic Four than what you've kind of grown to expect. So these aren't bad things necessarily, but I think I keep tuning in. I keep picking this up, expecting to get something different. And I think that this is, for at least for this first arc, this is what it is, right? So
Yeah, I think if you're a Fantastic Four fan, you might be really enjoying this. With the hope that there's a great payoff.
yeah,
Like, I'm hoping that it's a lousy payoff because I'm not buying any of this. And I don't want to miss out on it.
right.
But we'll see.
Not bad by any means, but again, I don't know if it's what I exactly want. Even knowing that going into this one, that the first issue was like this, and then this one could be like this as well. So,
Yeah.
it was more of the same. I would say I give it a 3.5. It was fine. And then Gotham City Year One, number 3. Yeah, this is just another piece to the puzzle as this mystery kind of unfolds. With Slam Bradley, the detective. Tom King does his best kind of noir detective type story chops here, kind of similar to what he's doing in Human Target. But even though it's still in the DC universe, kind of less feels like in the DC universe, because these are all humans and like old cops from the past and like detectives in Gotham City. It really has nothing to do with any superheroes at this point in time. So I think it's a little bit more farther removed from like what he's doing in Human Target, where he's kind of doing like a PI story, but also with the femme fatale type angle. But it has to do with this DC universe with all the superheroes and Justice League and everything else. So I think like I prefer that to this, because like even though I love like crime stories and stuff like this, like I feel that I do like the mix of it being in the DC universe, where this is kind of like it's in Gotham, but this feels like you could just do this in anything. Like it doesn't have to be in Gotham, right? So yeah, this was fine. I've been enjoying it so far, but this story, this particular issue kind of just moved the story along, I felt. So I might drop this in issues and maybe just pick up the collection, I was thinking. So we'll see. I think I have the next issue pre-ordered. It's only 6 issues though, so I might just see it through. We'll see. But yeah, Phil Hester on art was great in this. And yeah, I feel like after the first 2 kind of wowed me, this one was just like okay, I felt like. So I also gave this a 3.5. Nothing wrong with it though. He kind of comes across like uncovers some sort of owl related thing at the end of this. So maybe it's like the owls from Batman, I'm guessing, because it is in Gotham. And they've taught, Snyder set up that whole thing with the owls that have been around forever, this society. So maybe that they're kind of behind this kidnapping of his of the Wayne's daughter and everything else. Maybe we'll find out. Like they keep kind of having little nods to like things where it's like, oh, this person's kind of like Catwoman. Oh, look, there's an owl. Like things that you're in Gotham and like you're kind of supposed to be reminded of these things. But I'm like, I think they're just playing with their expectations a little.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, yeah, okay. Okay, so next up we got Batman and the Joker, the Deadly Duo, number 2. Wow, all I gotta say is again, Mark Silvestri is destroying it on the art in this book. This is one of the nicest books out right now, honestly, in terms of the art. I am so surprised, just because we haven't seen this guy's art in so long, that he is killing it on this level. This is a really fucking nice looking book. And I'm happy to say I felt the story was getting a little bit stronger in this too, in this issue, even from the first one, where they kind of just gave us a little bit to go off of. I thought that the mystery is the plot is thickens with this issue. I think there's a lot more interesting kind of strands, things that we're learning as a result of this investigation into this kidnapper and the murders and stuff that are going down. And you see more of the mutant Joker creatures in this. I don't know. I thought but I think that the art is the big treat of this whole series so far for me. What did you think of this?
Yeah, like I said, I read this online, so I don't think I could really fully appreciate the art there, but it is freaking kick-ass. And the story's it's keeping up with the art, I thought it's good stuff. And I kind of wish I bought this, but I thought it was sort of Batmaned out, and I was happy just with the Batman, with the Batman series itself. But it's looking good.
I agree with you in that sense, because I really read a few Batman books, and I didn't know if I was going to this one myself either, just because I haven't seen or heard from Mark Silvestri in forever. So I'm like, I don't know how good this is going to be, but man, was I wrong. I think
Yeah.
I'm really satisfied with this, and I was happy to add it to my list after seeing those preview pages. I was like, yep, got to get this on the list. Thankfully, my pre-orders for DC don't have a 3-month stretch ahead as my Marvel does. The DC I can kind of I can order 2-3 weeks ahead of time, thankfully, for that. So I was able to jump on the bandwagon for this in time. So I'm happy for it. Yeah, good stuff. So really cool
yeah. We got
design.
the Joker locked up in the Batcave there.
And then they put that mask on him. They put like some sort of like weird looking like mask on him. I thought that was really cool when they opened them up, and just like the design on some of the shit in this book, I think is kind of gothic, kind of like Batman.
Oh yeah, that's right. And at the end, he's following some clues. Who is the big bad there at the end? Because he wanted the Joker to choose who's gonna die, but then Batman shows up and Batman's like, okay, I'll make the decision. Yeah, so the plot does thicken.
Yeah. It looks really interesting what's gonna happen next. I'm looking forward to the next one.
Yeah.
I give it a 4. I think with the art, and the story's not shit either. I mean, the story's fine. Story's fine. Like I was like, I still think like that rating is based a little bit more. I'm gonna give it to the art on this one to give it the little bump, but the story's not bad by any means. Like I don't think it's nothing like. It's very easy to follow. It's not written badly. I think it's
it's not like dumb or anything. It's good. It's good for a Black Label. I'm liking it too. I give it a 3.75 as well, or just I don't know. Like I say, just I need that book in my hand. Probably it's my fault it's not getting a 4. If I bought it, it'd probably be a 4.
Fair. Yeah, no, it's fair. Immortal X-Men number 9, Chris.
There we go. Mr. Sinister front and center.
Yeah.
Finally. Yeah. Doing some good things with this guy. And they don't really change him, though, too. Like, he's always been sort of goofy the whole time around, and he still seems to be a bit goofy, but he's got some good plans on there, and kind of see where all his crazy ideas always end up. Because, every time you've seen him in his labs, what do they got? That cat with the Cyclops visor, and and this one here, I guess it's a bit of like a Groundhog Day, or I thought it was great. I love this issue, and each time he went in there, like almost like 10 scenes just played over and over again. I guess he's got a clone of Moira.
Yes.
So every time his plan goes awry or he dies, there's some scan that kills her, so it resets him back to whatever he wants to do. And it seems he wants to go there and kill the Quiet Council.
Yeah. He ends the timeline because Moira can restart the timeline. So basically, by killing her, he resets the timeline. So he really goes to town in this issue, and you see him play out like 10 different scenarios, and each one he gets killed until he kind of comes across one where he actually comes out on top. But then by that point, I think they basically figured out what he's up to, the council. So by the end of this issue, they're kind of off to the races in order to take him down. But I think this is going to spiral into, I think, the Sinister event, which is going to show you different what if timelines. I
know maybe like each one of these deaths might spin off to a different timeline. Who knows?
I think that's what these miniseries are going to be, like they're kind of setting up for the Sins of Sinister event or something like that's going to happen, because I think they basically already showed you that he's able to do this kind of thing right now, right? So I think I can't wait to see. I agree with you. I thought this was a lot of fun. I think he's a great character.
And I love every time his plan fails. You don't hear him say bad things, but I'd be like, and somebody heard him go, "Oh fuck, not again," or whatever. I can't believe this happened. But one time he just shoots himself in the head just because things just go off the rails right away.
Yeah, he's like, "Fuck this."
Yeah.
No, he's a great. The eccentricities of that character, I think that they really write him so perfectly. That's why, man, you got to read that Hellions book, Chris. He's the best in that fucking book, because that's like his team in that book. So like he's the leader, and they're like, really, like we got to listen to this guy because he's so bonkers, this guy, right? Like, what people don't remember maybe is that this guy was a hardcore villain for I don't know how long. So the fact that like they're allowing him to operate in Krakoa, like that, he can almost not believe the fact that they're allowing him to do like what he does.
Yeah, he's probably got to be thinking, what kind of bunch of suckers are these? Like, they know I'm gonna do this.
Yeah. So yeah, really cool. I really dug this issue as well.
I thought this issue was great.
What'd you give it?
I'll give it a 4.25.
I'll give it a 4. 4 though. Yeah, 4 out of 5.
Well, that last issue with freaking the goddamn Sherlock Holmes.
Yes,
What a
yes,
waste of time that was. It had nothing to do with anything that's going on here. And this was a good,
yeah,
especially for Immortal X-Men, like there's a lot of action. Usually it's a lot more chit chat. And
I
even though it's just one scene playing over 10 times, I thought it was great.
yeah, yep. Thanos Death Notes #1. This was kind of an unexpected treat, I thought. This was it's not bad. Thanos.
Wasn't bad, but it wasn't what I was expecting. I was expecting stuff from that freaking Thor vision where I'd see Thanos with the freaking Wolverine on the leash and some Hulk or something. But the stories there were good stories of Thanos, I guess his history, the one with about his life on Titan before he kind of went off the rails or before he met death. And they kind of explain, maybe he's not such a bad guy, it seems. And the one, I guess the one with the future there where Thanos is all king there with Tony Stark.
Mm-hmm.
It's unfortunate this doesn't seem to lead anywhere. It just says, oh, Tony's just gonna, I'll just have to carry this knowledge with me as my personal cross. Come on.
The Iron Man story was my favorite out of all of the stories. Basically in this, they set it up as Thor finding his, I guess, where his father cataloged everything about Thanos that he had come across, because his father was a scientist, from what I understand from other things I've read of Thanos. And he basically, he has all these notes and files and things things basically talking about different instances of things that Thanos had did and over the span of his life. And then Thor comes across this whole kind of this archives essentially of all this stuff, and he starts reading the stories, I guess, and that's basically when it breaks off into these 3 separate stories told by different artists and writers on Thanos. And I thought the Iron Man one was the most successful, I think, in terms of even getting the character, what I know of him, that kind of tone, right? You know what I mean? And what would be what is to come essentially if he takes over, right? I really dug that. And I like the other one too, about him showing some basically showing that he's loved before and things like that. You know what I mean? Because we know he's had his whole thing with death, right, in the Infinity Gauntlet, and he was in love with death, and to see kind of this play out of his first love or whatever, that was kind of a thing as well. So
but it's nice to see that he was kind of wrong about the sacrifice she made, because he's like, okay, I got to bring balance. That's what she wanted. And she's like, you see her ghost or whatever. I say, no, this isn't what I wanted. So it does make him misunderstood or something. But
then the last story is just kind of the Mad Titan Thanos, kind of, you just see him throw down and beat the shit out of a whole thousands of people or whatever.
Yeah.
Take him in, and he's not having it. And then he proceeds to try to find Gamora, his daughter. He keeps trying to hassle the barkeep, right, to let him know where she went. So I think for what it was, I thought it was decent. There were some good short stories I thought in it, but barely set up the events in Thor, though. Barely.
Yeah, but I did like that it led into Thor, and Thor's out this week. If I had to wait a month for this lead into that was nothing, then I'd been upset about that.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah. So what'd you give this?
I'm glad I read them in proper order too. I didn't kind of read Thor first by accident.
So did I, and I didn't know that was going to be the order. So when I got to the end of Thanos Death Notes, and it's continued in Thor 29, and then I looked and it was that was the issue. So I was like, oh, nice. I was like, because normally I do it the other way around too.
Yeah, usually I don't know about that. These are some chronological order you're supposed to read them in, and I always get mad, if I read them the wrong way. So I was happy that it worked out that way.
Yeah, for sure. So what'd you get?
But I'll give it a 3.5. Like I said, I thought I was expecting a lot more. It had 6 covers, and there's a lot of hype for this, and I didn't know it was just going to be some sort of almost anthology book.
Yeah, I'll give it the same. Yeah. Then you got, speaking of Thor 29 that came out this week as well, which is the continuation of that setup. This is the Thanos storyline. I think it's a 2-parter, if I'm not mistaken, and this is by a different writer. And Nick Klein, I think the artist that worked with Donny Cates a lot on the book, is the artist on this, which was nice. But yeah, what'd you think of this, Chris?
That was okay. I think they're just kind of hyping us with all this with Thanos friggin' baloney to keep us interested, because it's not really a Thanos story; it's the legacy of Thanos. So I don't think he's gonna have really nothing to do with this. I think where they're chasing down some black Infinity Stone,
And also his buddy there that works for him is the Corvus Glaive is the guy that they left off in the end of the Thanos Death Notes, mentioning that he was after.
Yeah, yeah, and he's the one that steals what I guess Thanos or Thor's
Thanos is
daughters.
dead. Thanos is dead right now. That's the whole thing, right? Like he's dead
Yeah.
right now, and so I think that this is kind of like dealing with aftermath type shit, like that he kind of put in motion essentially, right? That's
Yeah.
on here. But
Did he die in the Eternals or something? Because wasn't he just in the Eternals a while ago, like before Judgment Day? I thought.
Yeah, I thought he was dead. What the hell is he? He is in the Eternals now. I think you're right.
But he was, at least. I don't know. It's like, I guess the Eternals is over. I guess all that was a setup for Judgment Day or something. Maybe he died in there. Like I say, I didn't read the Eternals, so I don't know.
Donny Cates' Guardians, the whole run had to do with the fact that he was dead, and he actually had put his essence, like he basically was in his brother Star Fox's body during that, during Donny Cates' Guardians run. So like, he was alive, but not really himself. So now I don't really know what the current status quo is on him. You're right. Maybe he is alive now in the Eternal. I don't know, actually.
But well, maybe if he comes out alive at the end of this, it'll make a
worthwhile story. Yeah,
a worthwhile story. But I don't really see that happening.
No,
it's not a bad story. It's standard Thor stuff. Meh. That's about all I can say. Nothing crazy, nothing great.
Same. I wasn't overly interested in this. I thought it was fine. I mean, I really just want Donny Cates to come back to this title, so I thought maybe this would spark up some interest for the time being with me, but it was fine. It was.
I'll probably read the end of this here, and I don't know if Donny Cates is coming back to this or not, or
he is. I told you.
Okay.
Episode.
Yeah.
After this, I think
Hulk, he's dropped then, right?
Hulk, he's dropped. He's coming back to this. Yeah, he's not announced leaving this. He's coming back with a new arc, I think, at the end of this.
Well, 2
or 3 issue story that they're doing right now. So yeah, he's coming
back. Yeah, so maybe we'll see all this stuff play out then, and I could take a little brief interlude of baloney.
So what'd you give this one?
3.5, nothing crazy.
Same. Yeah, 3.5.
Yeah, like the big reveal there. Ooh.
The grand goes up, yeah. All right, next up, Spider-Man number 3.
Spider-Man number 3. I'm starting to kind of get a feel for the tone of this comic, or the vibe, or whatever you want to call it, the kind of the jokey manner.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't seem to be fitting with the action or the story of the comic. Like this is supposed to be some world-ending event for the Spider-Verse. We got people dying, people getting transformed, and everybody seems to be all jokey. So I'm not sure if those two styles mesh too well with this story. But otherwise, I think it's okay. This isn't anything that's getting me off my seat there to read. But it's still, it's fun. I'll see all these spider people. But I think Spider-Man's better on his own than with the whole fucking crew of spider people. And that they're all the same. Like they're all trying to be, whatever, all out with their zingers and one-liners. It's a little too much when it's coming from everybody.
I was fine with the original Spider-Verse event. I didn't need any of these follow-up Spider-Verse events. I'll put it that way. I think that the first time around was an excellent event within the Spider books, which I was surprised at how good it was. And then since then, they've really just been trying to capitalize, especially since the animated movie, on these characters by putting out new miniseries about these characters and fucking keep bringing them back. For now, Spider-Geddon, and then which is apparently the end of his trilogy.
I hope it is.
That's what Dan Slott has said. But I agree with you. They're not as good as I think as a solo Spider-Man book. And then that being said, like, the reason I love Spider-Man is because he's Peter Parker Spider-Man. I don't need all these other fucking variations, man. Like, tell me a story, a one-off story with them. I'm good to go. I don't think we need to keep revisiting this shit. And the problem,
like this looks like a storyline for a Saturday morning cartoon or something. This would be awesome if this was like the arc of the Amazing Spider-Man animated series for whatever. Then it'd be great. But
the problem is too, though, because they have all these characters established now, they feel like they've and they just keep adding more to it. It's just like, oh, we struck gold, all kinds of different Spider-Man. Like, no, you have years and years and years of storyline for Spider-Man. That's why people care about that character. you can't just show up and be like, hey, this is this version of Spider-Man, and make me think like I'm gonna care about that version as much as I do this version. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Story. I don't have like there's a couple of characters in that mix that I do enjoy to see, but like I don't need that whole event for them. Like Spider-Man, you know, if you show
They're just kind of throwing everything together and see what sticks here. That's what I think these this series is doing, or this arc is doing. And if any of them do stick, you know, maybe they bring them out once in a while. And I don't know if you want to talk about the ending with somebody disappearing or whatever.
I just showed the art from it. Yeah, Peter, like I don't know, like
I get stabbed by that knife, so he's literally been faded out of the universe or something. So
I don't know what's gonna happen with him moving forward. They still haven't even addressed the fucking fact that they had Tom Holland Spider-Man in the last issue. So I don't know that either. But anyways, so what'd you give this?
I just give it a 3.5. I want to give it more, but
Same.
I just can't.
3.5. And then speaking of Spider-Man, we got Dark Web #1. Big spider event here. What'd you think of this, Chris?
I don't know. It's good, you know. I like the stuff with Madeline Pryor and whatever Chasm or Ben Reilly. I just never thought Chasm's suit. I thought it was more like a symbiote or something. The way it's, you know, the way it glows and smokes, and then when you kind of just see him throw on a mask, it kind of takes it away. They should have kind of made something magical about it, but that's just a side point. I like the X-Men being involved in here. I thought that's good. Wasn't there like some coffee shop scene with Peter Parker and Mary Jane? Weren't they kind of chewing the fat a little bit? I thought that was a nice piece.
Yeah.
But you know, when the demons do rise, and it's all like freaking the lunch bar, the mailbox becoming a monster. I'm not too much of a big fan of that. And what the hell did they do to Venom? Like I know they got to make Venom for this series, but this guy's supposed to be like some god level, you know, top tier person. And friggin' what, they chump him out just like that, no problems? Come on.
I think this whole thing with the things turning into creatures and stuff, and even mentioned it in the issue, is kind of trying to be reminiscent of the old 90s X-Men event Inferno, which that kind of shit was going on. But then you gotta remember that's like peak, like, you know, that's 90s Claremont X-Men. So like where stuff like that was a little bit more common, this wacky type shit that used to go on in events, like, and it was an X-Men event. So like I guess they're trying to capture some of that. So I understand the choice, but yeah, I agree with you. It's not like it's, you know, it's fine. It isn't like, it's not like, I don't know if it works for me 100%, but like at least I understand where it's coming from. I'm like, okay, yeah. But I do like the X-Men are part of this. This is weird because I like certain things about this event so far, but as a whole, I'm not loving it, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Like I'm like this, like you said, that stuff was good. This moment was all right. Like there's things I'm finding to enjoy in it, but as a whole complete kind of thing right now, I'm not loving it so far.
Like they got a lot riding on this event. There's a shit ton of tie-ins.
Yeah.
And like, you know, this doesn't really get me excited for that. You know what I mean? Like,
I also just think it's like it's a long way to go for this guy's argument of him stealing.
Yeah,
memories. Like I'm like, really?
Yeah, like the whole premise of it. Oh, I want my memories back. No, you don't. Okay, it's not like this guy's like living the high life. You know, I think I talked about it earlier.
Yeah, like if anything, like Madeline Pryor has more involved in this because she's just latching on to this sad sack guy and taking advantage of it and running with it and just to fuck with everybody. Like that's all she's doing. She's just like, I hate the X-Men. I'm just gonna fuck with people. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's all she's doing, and she's having her fun with it. I don't know what he's getting out of this other than his whole like crusade, like his whole like vengeance stuff.
But I did like when you know, when he went up against Norman Osborn. You know, I can imagine he might hate him and not be so forgiving. So I like that.
Yeah, I like the Osborn thing, but like, look at this. Look at Venom now. He's like 90s Venom here. Like,
yeah, like it's nice to see 90s Venom back, but you know, how are you gonna go from freaking, you know, like the symbiote god to getting fucking whacked like that? You know, oh, I think we took out too much. You were not gonna be able to take anything out of this guy. This guy can move through time.
Not only that, he's turned into the slobbering idiot Venom.
Yeah, like I know it's gonna make, you know, good covers and fun stories, but
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, so it's as I just said, we just mentioned every aspect about this event. You have Ben Riley, you have like Inferno, and you got slobbering fucking I gotta kill Spider-Man Venom. This is a 90s fucking event in the year 2022. That's what we're dealing with right now, guys. This is a 90s, very 90s-esque event. I think we just tapped into why there's some things we like about this and some things we don't, because
well, even with Madeline Pryor, like, because I was reading her New Mutants when I guess Limbo or whatever Magic gave Limbo over to her. Like, you know, she was almost like a redeemed character.
Yeah.
And now he fucking pulled a 180. I fooled them. I'm freaking, you know, I want my life back. What do you mean you're talking about? You know, you just had this whole freaking run where you got redeemed and it's all over. It was all for nothing.
Yeah.
So I do want to see Magic get in there because I'm sure she's pretty upset about Madeline Pryor shenanigans.
She was in this. I mean, she was in this.
Yeah, I think she'd probably have a big part in this. I hope she does at least.
Well, maybe you may want to read that X-Men tie-in online, Chris, because I know you didn't.
I'll definitely read all this stuff online.
Because I picked it up. I'm picking it up, that one. So, all right. So that's going to do it for our comics that came out this week, guys. What we wanted to talk about here, what we read. And speaking of what we're picking up next week, Chris, you got your list there ready? It's a
big one.
For you, it's a big one. It's a small week.
I got nothing.
Yeah, okay.
Nothing good, at least. Like the only good, there's a couple big comics coming out next week, that's for sure.
Sure.
But I got Deadpool 2. I think that might be my last one. Iron Man #1. I think I'm just buying that for #1. Savage Avengers 8. I think I might still have that just on pull. I'm dropping that soon, I hope. Amazing Spider-Man 15. Gotta have it. And then the Big Daddy.
Yeah.
Batman Spawn 1.
Yeah. Yeah. Batman.
That better be goddamn good.
I don't know. We'll see.
I read some interviews about that where they're you know, where Todd McFarlane just kind of tells the artist, hey, what do you want to draw? You know, we'll make whatever work. You know, like you can put anything out there really, but we'll see.
I mean, it's fucking Greg Capullo. He did like hundreds of issues of Spawn with him. I hope he knows.
Yeah. Well, like supposedly I heard some stuff. There might be stuff with the Court of Owls and then Spawn. There's like some Court of Spawns or something. I don't know what it was, but
right.
We'll see.
But yes, Batman Spawn #1. I'm grabbing that as well. I'm actually grabbing 2 covers of that. I'm grabbing the I think one's a McFarlane cover where he's taking down Batman, and the other one's the
I wanted to try and get the McFarlane cover, but they told me it was a ratio one.
No, there's a regular one, the cover B of Todd McFarlane. The one's supposed to be Spawn overtaking Batman, and
then the other one's the other way around.
Right. Yeah. And it's both. I think both of the covers are Capullo and McFarlane, I think, drawn.
Yeah.
And McFarlane probably just inked them. Who knows, right? But anyways, that's that.
I might have to pick up a copy there for me then. If
we'll talk.
If you got some, we'll talk later.
Yeah. Amazing Spider-Man 15. Then I got Bone Orchard, Black Feathers #4, Dark Web X-Men #1. Also got Invincible Iron Man #1. That's it for me. I mean, I'll see if there's anything else I might read digitally, but out of the releases that I have pre-ordered, that's it right there, 5 issues. So another fucking weird. It was small week last week, big week this week, small week again, and then leading into this, I'm sure it's going to be a fucking huge week again. So that'll be interesting.
I don't mind these small weeks.
So there you go, guys. That's what you got to look forward to next week. What we're looking forward to picking up. Our favorite book of the week, Chris. What was your favorite book of the week, though? Here.
I know which mine was. Where is it? I got to go with Immortal X-Men. I love that one.
I figured. Yeah, that was a good one. It was a very good one. Well, I hate to let Do a Power Bomb down, but I'm not going to give it to Do a Power Bomb this week. I'm going to give it to Daredevil. I'm going to give it to Daredevil 6 this week, and I can't show you anything because, like I said, I didn't pick up my issues this week. Gotta give it to Daredevil #6. But as you guys know, like I said, I think almost every other time I've picked Do a Power Bomb as my favorite of the week. So it's a great series. So me not picking it this week has nothing to do with the overall quality of that book. So
right.
Daredevil.
Well, it was a good one.
Yeah,
Daredevil killing it. I like them. I'm liking where they're going.
Very good. It's very good. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this week, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Hit that thumbs up, that like button. Hit the notification bell to be notified of when these do come out. And thanks you for tuning in as always. And stay tuned. As I mentioned, it's going to be on Wednesday. Sorry, not Wednesday. It's going to be for the week of I'll tell you right now, Wednesday, December 28th, that week of comics, that will be when our special episode comes out here for you guys, where we talk about best of the year type comic stuff. And our last regularly scheduled weekly show is going to be on the talking about the week of comics of December 21st, the week leading right into Christmas there. That'll be our last episode. And then we resume, we come back January to talk about the comics of January 4th, that week of new comics in the new year. We're talking about what came out on the 28th as well as the 4th. So yeah, so there you go. Nice new episode for you guys to start off the new year. All right. We'll see you then. Thank you, Chris. We'll see you.
All right. Thank you. Always good time. Cheers.
Cheers.